The slow dance ends not with music, but with silence. David's hands tremble slightly on Lily's back. She notices. He pulls away, but she grips his hand. "Write to me," she whispers. "I will. Every chance I get." A train whistle sounds in the distance. Their eyes hold. Neither wants to say goodbye first. David boards the bus. Lily stays on the platform, her hand raised long after it's gone. The war begins. Boot camp is brutal. David has reshaped his posture, his eyes, his silence. But at night, under the harsh fluorescent lights, he reads Lily's letters. They come like lifelines, sketches of the sky, poems about the river, silly stories from the bookstore. "I saw a bird land where we Saturday. It looked lost. I named it David. If you believe love is stronger than power, comment red heart #. Tag someone who would risk everything for love." His replies are fewer, shorter. The war hardens him. He doesn't mean to, but he starts writing less. Then, silence. He's wounded in an explosion. His legs are torn. In the hospital, his lips whisper her name while unconscious. Days pass. No letters come. He thinks she moved on. Back home, Lily waits. Every day at the river. Every Sunday by the mailbox. Her parents push her to leave town. She doesn't. Not yet. David returns with a cane and a medal, but avoids the old bookstore. The familiar roads feel distant. People cheer his return, but he's quiet. A stranger in his own skin. Then one morning, a neighbor slips him something. "This was left for you. Years ago." A sketchbook. He opens it slowly. Inside, drawings of them. The river. The train station. Him in uniform, waving. Then, the last drawing. An empty bench at the river. Beside it, a note. "You stopped writing. I kept drawing. But drawings can't replace your voice. If you ever come back, I'll be at the place where you first made me feel safe." He runs. Limping, falling, breathing hard. But when he reaches the river, it's empty. No Lily. Just wind. Just water. Years pass. He builds a life. Not quite love. Just life. And now, at the train station, the boy's question still lingers. "Is that your wife?" "No, she was my first love." The train arrives. As David rises, another train stops on the opposite platform. Passengers pour out. One woman, silver hair, calm presence, walks slowly, clutching a leather-bound sketchbook. David turns. She stops. No dramatic run. No tears. Just silence. And then her smile. "Still too serious," she says. His hand trembles again. But not from nerves. From memory. And finally, he speaks. "You stayed." She nods. "You came back." The trains leave. The station empties. David steps off the train, the same station where Lily once waited. But now he's alone. His uniform fits looser. His cane taps with each step. A small crowd claps for the returning soldiers, but their faces blur. The town hasn't changed, but he has. The colors feel muted. The sky quieter. The bakery still smells of cinnamon. The bookstore still stands. But he can't walk in. Not yet. He passes the river. The wind moves the grass where they once Saturday. He stops. For a moment, his fingers twitch, as if reaching for a memory. Then he walks on. At home, his mother hugs him tighter than she should. His father calls him a man but can't meet his eyes. David eats in silence. The food tastes like ash. That night, he opens his army bag. Inside her letters, worn and fragile. And one new envelope. He stares at it. Postmarked weeks ago. He opens it with trembling hands. "I still sit by the river. I still draw birds and wait for trains. I don't know if you've changed, but I haven't stopped hoping." A tear hits the ink. He grips the paper like a lifeline. The next day, he walks to the river. But it's empty. A breeze moves the tall grass. On the bench, a folded piece of paper. "I thought you'd come back different. Not just your body, but your silence. If you ever find your voice again, I'll be at the station on the first day of spring. He doesn't go. The seasons change. He tries to live. He works in a mechanic shop. Avoids music. Avoids the river. Avoids art. For years. Until one morning a child in the neighborhood chases a paper plane to his porch. The plane is made from a book page. A sketch. Of a soldier by a river. Signed, Lily, 1970. He stands. Limps inside. Pulls out a showbox filled with her letters and one final envelope, unopened all this time. I'll be at the train station every spring. I won't wait forever. But I'll always hope. The date matches today. His hands shake. Back at the station, he watches the crowd. Time slows. Trains come and go. And then, she appears. Grey in her hair, sketchbook in hand, her eyes still soft with fire. She sees him. No music plays. Just silence. Real, sacred silence. He walks toward her. Stops a few feet away. I was scared I wasn't the boy you loved anymore. You're not, she replies. But you're still the man I waited for. And in that moment, two people no longer young, no longer broken, share a smile so full of everything lost and everything still possible, that even the trains seem to quiet for it. Because some loves begin before war, survive through silence, and find their way home, even if it takes a lifetime. David sits with her on the same wooden bench they once carved their initials into as teenagers. The letters are faint now, weathered by time and rain, but still there. Like them. She opens her sketchbook slowly, hands slightly trembling. Inside are years of drawings. Of birds. Of train stations. Of sunsets. Of a boy in uniform who never smiled again. You kept drawing me, he says, barely above a whisper. Lily turns the page. It's him, older, cane in hand, standing at the station. Today. I never stopped, she replies. A silence stretches between them, thick, sacred, and forgiving. He looks out at the horizon. I thought I'd forget, he murmurs. The war. The pain. You. I tried to let go because it hurt too much to remember. She gently touches his hand. And I remembered, even when it hurt too much to hold on. Their eyes meet. No tears now. Just a calm they hadn't known in decades. I should have come sooner, he says. You came, she replies. That's enough. Behind them, the train lets out a soft whistle. They don't move. You still drink tea with too much sugar, he asks. Only when I'm nervous, she smiles. He chuckles. For the first time in years, it feels real. They sit until the sun begins to set. Her head leans against his shoulder. He closes his eyes, letting the wind carry away all the years they lost. He whispers, You waited for me. She nods. I was your first love, she says softly. You were my only one. He squeezes her hand. And as the world around them moves on, people boarding trains, rushing past, chasing life, they sit still, wrapped in the quiet kind of love that doesn't shout, doesn't sparkle, but simply endures. Not everything broken stays broken. Some things, like hearts, come back in pieces. But the right hands will know how to hold them. And sometimes, even if you come back too late, love is still waiting with a sketchbook in one hand. And your name written softly in the margins. She doesn't rush into his arms. She simply looks at him like she's seeing a ghost she's imagined too many times to believe is real. The space between them is filled with years they never lived together. Missed seasons. Silent birthdays. Letters never sent. The train rocks gently as it moves forward, but neither of them moves. David clutches the edge of his seat, as if afraid one wrong word will break this delicate moment. I was afraid you'd hate me, he says, voice almost trembling. For disappearing. For not coming sooner. Lily smiles faintly. I hated you for a while. But not because you left. Because I didn't know how to stop waiting. David's eyes drop to her hands, ink-stained fingers still familiar. She's still sketching. He pulls something from his coat pocket. Folded carefully, barely surviving time, her final letter. The one he nearly lost in a rainstorm when he opened it for the 100th time. I read this the day I finally decided to find you, he says. She reaches across the small table between them. Her hand rests on his, soft, steady. I always left a space in my drawings for you, she says. Just in case you found your way back. David leans back slowly. Outside the window, the world passes green hills, quiet towns, distant lives. But here, in this small train car, time bends. It gives them a second chance. Not the same as youth. Not the same as the river, or the dancing under the stars. But something gentler. Wiser. He clears his throat. I never married. Couldn't explain to anyone why no one felt like home. She nods. I never stopped setting a second teacup. They both laugh, a quiet, broken laugh, but the kind that stitches something old back together. Where are you going? He asks. I was headed to my daughter's house. She just had a baby. David pauses. You have a daughter? She nods. From the years I stopped waiting. He swallows. I'm happy for you. She looks at him. She's named after someone I loved. A silence. Then she whispers, David. His eyes glisten again. This time, no shame in his tears. The train slows as it approaches a small station. Neither of them moves. I was thinking of visiting the river again, she says. It's been years. I'd like that, he replies. They both rise together. Not like they used to, swift and young, but together, steady and slow. He offers his arm. She takes it. And as the train doors open, letting in a rush of fresh air and the scent of blooming spring, they step out onto the platform, not to start over, but to finally finish the story they paused long ago. Because even though he came back too late, she had never really stopped waiting. And some loves, even interrupted by war, silence, and time, still find their way home. They walk side by side through the small town, not speaking much, just breathing in the quiet familiarity that used to live in the spaces between them. Trees have grown taller. The old post office has faded blue paint. But the path to the river still curves the same. Lily looks ahead as they approach the clearing. Her grip tightens gently on David's arm, and he feels her pulse quicken. The bench is still there. Weathered. Cracked. But standing. I almost couldn't believe it was still here, she says. He chuckles softly. That makes two of us. They sit. Birds flutter through the trees. The wind dances in the tall grass. The sound of the river hasn't changed, always murmuring, as if it's been waiting too. Lily opens her sketchbook one more time and turns to a blank page. She sets a pencil down beside it. Would you draw something with me? She asks. David hesitates. I haven't drawn in years. I know, she smiles. But we never finished this page. He picks up the pencil, his hand shaking slightly, and together they sketch. Nothing perfect, just a bench, a tree, and two people holding hands. Somewhere in the background, she adds a train, smoke curling up toward a faded sun. She stops suddenly, looks at him. Do you regret it? That we didn't have a whole life together? He watches the river. No, he says. Because even the pieces I got were worth everything. A tear slips down her cheek, but she doesn't look away. He reaches into his pocket, pulls out something small, a tiny folded paper, yellowed at the edges. It's her first note. The one she'd slipped in the bookshop when they were teens. Don't be so serious, soldier. Life's too short not to laugh. He hands it to her. I kept it, he says. She presses it to her heart, eyes closed. And I kept you. A child's voice echoes in the distance, a little girl chasing a butterfly through the trees. Lily watches her, eyes soft. She reminds me of you, she whispers. David smiles. Maybe one day, we'll bring her here. Tell her about the boy who left, and the girl who never stopped drawing him. The sun dips lower, painting the sky in hues of gold and pink. They sit in silence, not needing words anymore. Some stories don't end with fireworks or final kisses. Some just find their way back to the place where they began, older, quieter, but no less full of love. And as the river flows beside them, and the wind carries their laughter away into the trees, two hearts, though weathered by war, time, and distance, finally rest. Together. At last.